He thought he knew everything about surviving in the wild. Armed with just a backpack, a few tools, and a basic plan, he set off into the forest to build a simple shelter. What seemed safe and logical turned into a nightmare. By the time the night was over, he had nearly lost everything: his energy, his health, and almost his life. How could a simple shelter become such a deadly trap? Today, we'll break down every detail of his mistake and the lessons you can take from it. Stay with me, because even small oversights can cost you dearly in the wild. It all started in early autumn. He ventured into the forest alone. His experience was minimal: a couple of nights in a tent, a few hikes with friends. He decided to build a shelter, a seemingly simple and reliable way to stay safe overnight. The air was crisp, the leaves still clinging to the trees, and the forest seemed friendly. He found a flat spot, gathered branches and leaves, and started assembling his shelter. Everything was going according to plan. Trunks crossed, leaves layered, the structure looked solid. He even tested one of the supporting branches for strength and felt confident. The forest, however, had other plans. It wasn't a backyard. It was unpredictable, alive, and unforgiving. What he didn't realize was that small mistakes could turn his cozy shelter into a dangerous trap. The first mistake he made was underestimating protection from rain. The leaves were dense, but a light evening drizzle started seeping through. By nightfall, water had trickled directly onto his back. At first, it was only uncomfortable, then chilling. By midnight, it was dangerous. Many beginners think, "I built a shelter, I'm safe." The reality, a shelter without proper waterproofing can become a slow-acting trap. Every movement in soaked clothing saps warmth and energy. He didn't notice until hypothermia's subtle effects began creeping in. Shivering, fatigue, slowed thinking. In the wild, minor oversights are rarely minor. His second mistake was trying to start a fire inside the shelter. Smoke filled the small space quickly. He coughed, his vision blurred, and the heat became suffocating. What seemed like a good idea, warmth and safety, nearly killed him. Many survival guides warn, fire inside small shelters is dangerous, but experience is the best teacher. The smoke disoriented him, making it hard to react quickly. In moments like these, every second counts. He realized the warmth wasn't worth the risk. By the time he managed to vent the smoke, he had wasted precious energy and increased his exposure to the cold. Again, a small decision made in haste became life-threatening. The third mistake was choosing the wrong location. He had picked a seemingly flat area, but it was slightly downhill. Water from the earlier drizzle started collecting under the shelter. He was now lying in a shallow puddle without even realizing it. A beginner might overlook terrain slopes, assuming flat is flat. In reality, even small elevation changes matter for drainage, wind protection, and temperature. By the early morning hours, his sleeping bag was wet and the cold intensified. Energy levels dropped drastically. He felt the first real fear of the night. Had he chosen a higher, drier spot, much of this could have been avoided. The night dragged on, chilled to the bone, coughing from smoke, soaked from rain. He barely slept. His body's reaction to cold, shivering, slowed movements made it harder to maintain the shelter and fire. By dawn, he was exhausted, hypothermic, and shaken. Looking back, he realized how multiple small mistakes compounded into a near-fatal night. Each error on its own seemed manageable, but together they created a chain reaction that could have ended tragically. Survival is rarely about one big mistake. It's about the accumulation of tiny oversights. So what can we learn from his experience? Waterproofing is not optional. Make sure your shelter sheds water. Fire inside a confined space is dangerous. Always think about smoke, ventilation, and emergency exits. Location matters. Slight slopes, wind exposure, and drainage make a difference. Small mistakes add up. Survival is a chain. One weak link can break the whole system. Preparation and observation are lifesavers. Always assess your surroundings, test your shelter, and plan for contingencies. By analyzing his night, we can avoid the same errors. Survival isn't about luck. It's about thoughtful planning, awareness, and learning from real experiences. Remember, even experienced people can make mistakes. The forest doesn't care about your confidence. It only reacts to your actions. If you take these lessons seriously, your next night in the wild could be safe instead of a fight for life.